Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of Romantasy Roundtable, a tale of Rick and Roses. My name is Rick, and I'm joined with my roses.
Amanda.
And Kim.
That one went better. Please feel free to find us on the social medias, which are quiet now because of work is real. However, we do have a book talk. We do have a bookstagram. We do have an email. So if you want to shoot us an email, it's romantasyroundtable@gmail.com. Both of the stagrams are at Romantasy Roundtable. And I think I did it this week.
Yeah, you crushed it. And if
Nice.
you like what you're listening to, you can subscribe and rate all the things and, drop us a line on Book Talk or Bookstagram or email or carrier pigeon.
That's right. I love a good carrier pigeon. How's that cheese, Kim?
It's excellent. Exactly what I did right now.
What kind of cheese is it?
That was pepper jack.
The best cheese.
Good
well,
cheese.
Top 5 cheese.
Yeah, it's a great cheese.
And then I have some Colby Jack also. We are 5 views shy of hitting 900 views on.
Wow.
We've had almost 100 views in the last week.
That's wild because we haven't done anything in the last week.
Correct. I don't know where people are coming from, but we love you. Welcome.
Kim went back to work 4 weeks ago. I went back to work 3 weeks ago. Rick went back to work 2 weeks ago. And the kids came back last week. And we start teaching tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm actually going to try to make a stagram tomorrow. Is it a stagram? No, it's a talk. And do it real quick. Here's a little preview for all 2 of you who listen. I'm going to stand in the front of the room and it's going to be like, hey guys, welcome back. Oh, what did I do this summer? Let me tell you about Throne of Glass. And that's it. Just a little short thing.
Yeah, I haven't done any of my August recap stuff. None of it.
It's true.
And I read a lot of really good books in August.
You know, it's a good book that I read in August, supposedly Enchantra, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah. So, okay. If you aren't caught up, then you should just know that Rick had to break up a dog fight and he broke his foot and got a concussion. I think he did this just because he wanted to be like me.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally like the same fracture in his foot that I had in my hand. It's like
crazy
your own thing. But his brain is doing a lot better, I think.
It is. I struggled last night. I went to my uncle's birthday. I think 90-ish% of me is back to normal, but I seem to be getting overwhelmed by stimuli. And kind of shutting down. But I can function. It's just weird, random, overbearing, overstimulated stuff is not. I'm not handling it well at the moment.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to speak for me and Kim, but that's what having chronic migraine is like a lot of the time.
Nice.
I mean, I am the person who brings both earplugs and eye shades to a movie theater because I am inevitably going to get overstimulated.
This podcast is brought to you by Loop earplugs.
It is.
If they want to sponsor us, though, I'd take that sponsorship. I love those earplugs.
I do too.
So do you experience the movie in Braille? I don't understand.
No, you can
can't
still
see
hear.
your hair?
You can still hear it. It's just muffled.
All right.
And sometimes the visual stimulus is too much, and even if you close your eyes, you can still see the light. And so you need the eye shades to just deprivation chamber yourself for a couple minutes.
I've been bringing my earplugs since my concussion. I've been bringing them to soccer games. I've been bringing them to concerts. I brought them to the parade last weekend. I wore them around my house. That's why we couldn't record last weekend, because I live in Crown Heights and it was the West Indian American Day Parade, which is basically just like a giant party for 3 days, which is really, really fun. And I love that it happens. And also it's really loud. So there's no way that we would have been it was just nonstop Caribbean music for 3 days. So we couldn't record.
But we're recording now.
We're recording now. So we read chapters 18 through 35 of Enchantra. Almost none of us have notes. And We read it a long time ago, so we're going to do our best. So let's jump on in.
It's gonna be great.
With chapter 18. So when we last left our hero Genevieve, they were at the masquerade. So chapter 18 starts with the masquerade ending and the first round of the hunt beginning. Genevieve finds herself hiding in the labyrinth, but her husband Rowan is nowhere to be found, and she is freezing in the cold night air. Grave, which is one of Rowan's brothers, Gravington, finds her but narrowly misses her several times, trying to kill her with a hunting blade. Rowan finds her and carries her back to his room where they hide from Graves. So in each round of the hunt, one of the siblings is the hunter. And they get to pick when you're the hunting, they like stand in a circle and the hunting blade like chooses the hunter. And then that person gets to pick which game they're going to play.
The only note that I have, it's like in chapter 22. It doesn't even matter. It's relevant now. This is Squid Game's hide and seek. That's what this is.
I've never watched Squid Games.
Oh, season 1 is great. I don't know about season 2. Season 1 is great.
But when I walked into the 10th grade activity on Friday, I was like, what the hell is going on? And everyone was like, it's Squid Games. And I was like,
Great.
Cool. You guys are having a blast. And I love that for you. Yeah, so it's Grave's turn, and Grave is like the scary sibling.
Yeah.
And, so they're gunning for Grave is gunning for Genevieve, and she again is like not listening to Rowan, and just like runs out into the labyrinth.
Yeah, he had asked her to stay in the foyer until he came back, and she couldn't do it. And so instead of actually finding a room to go hide in, she ran outside.
Right.
Of course, because it's like a tiny, flimsy little dress, and it's snowing outside, and she's now in this giant maze, and not prepared.
I do like, in many ways, this book feels like watching a horror movie. And by that, I don't mean that it's gory or scary. I mean that I'm yelling at the characters. Like, why on earth would you go in there? That's not what.
It's not safe.
It's not. It's like common sense. We're allergic to common sense.
Yep.
All right. So in chapter 19, Genevieve is like frozen. She's like blue. And Rowan carries her into his room and gives her one of his shirts to warm up in. She complains about him leaving her. Oh, because he was like, stay in the foyer, I'll be right back. And she's like, why did you leave me? And he said, I had a good reason and you should just stay put. They start playing a game of true truths and a lie. And Genevieve realizes that Rowan is more selfless and empathetic than he lets on, caring more about freeing his family than winning his own freedom.
I will have to say, I love the true truths and a lie thing. This carries on until later. I think this is a really cool, interesting way of like breaking down their barriers with each other, and at some point, like later on, they'll just, someone will say, let's play two truths and a lie. And they don't even want to play. They just want to like vent and just talk. So I really like that a lot.
Yeah. And they do other, it's like, oh, you can ask me 3 questions. So they've been doing a lot of these, like, it's good. It's like a good exposition strategy, tactic, method. I don't know what word I'm looking for, on Kaylie's part to like explain what's going on in the character's past, without just narration.
Yeah, it's good. Really good. I like it.
Yeah. And I think she does a really good job of making sort of the evolution of their intimacy clear through it. And so as we're saying, what they're sharing gets just sort of like deeper and more personal as time goes on. I also really appreciate that.
I like Rowan.
Yeah, Rowan's good. I like Rowan. I like him a lot.
He doesn't, I know he's a shadow daddy, but he's not giving me like, don't touch her vibes. Like he's not the stereotypical like MMC in a romantasy, and that's kind of refreshing for me.
Not in Crescent City.
You gotta.
No, he is top. Although, don't touch her, don't look at her, don't think about her. She can't exist in the world with you.
Cute.
She's got some trauma going on. He has a lot of trauma. Literally her protector in that book.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think what's interesting is, of course, like Rowan becoming the shadow daddy here comes about differently than we see in some other books too, of course, because like she just like happened upon Enchantra, the actual like mansion, and then also like inadvertently got pulled into this game, and so I feel like he's not giving kind of those same vibes just because of the way their circumstances happened too. So he didn't have any sort of pre-existing idea of who she was. He wasn't like, I'm already in love with you from the first time I saw you, like none of that stuff.
Well, we find out in a couple chapters, my audio setup is causing echo. Is that true?
No.
Cool. We find out in a couple chapters, he like kind of might have known who she was.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're not really clear on that yet. So, all right. So it's chapter 20. They're getting to know each other, and they're hiding. It sounds like in this game, they gotta like move every couple of hours or something. So they discuss his relationship with his family and like how complicated it is. He's like doesn't super have a relationship with his twin right now. Yeah, they talk about that. The game ends with Genevieve's time running out and her magic returns just in time for her to escape death by, nope, Grave is not Rowan's twin. And he doesn't reveal that his last name is Silver. She knew that before she met him.
Look, AI's trying, AI's trying. ChatGPT won't read this, so we only can do a Gemini.
All right, well, I don't, she gets beat up, maybe?
Yeah, and they go to like, they hide. Is this where? I don't think it's in the next chapter. They hide in like Graves' room. He's like, there's like a secret passageway in like Rowan's room, and she's like, we're hiding in Graves' room. It's like, yeah, it's the last place to look. And they just like kind of chill there for a while.
Yeah, this is not what happens in chapter 20. Her magic doesn't return, and that's not what happens. Yeah, so they go through like a secret passage through a bathroom.
Yeah, Rowan had created a hole between the two rooms, like pretty much entirely so that he could switch rooms when they're playing the switching rooms game, without having to go out into the hallways into public spaces, and also because it's a place that Graves is unlikely to look.
Yeah, so they keep moving rooms. It's called roaming rooms. They have to switch every 4 hours. Like nothing is happening in these notes for 3 chapters.
I mean, that's kind of what the chapters were too. It was kind of just like really not much was happening. They were kind of just like,
waiting. Talking and getting to know each other, and like Umbra's wandering around and being super cute.
Guys, we got to talk about Umbra. I'm obsessed.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
she's Rowan's familiar, and she's a little black fox, and she's always like curled up in a little ball. She's always following him around. She is really good at listening, and I love her.
Yes.
Do we think that there's going to be like a Poe situation where Fox is like spying on them or something?
For who?
I don't know. The dad?
Because she is Rowan's familiar, so she is like.
Oh, right. Never mind. Yep. Got it.
But we do know, Rick and I are reading Crescent City right now. We do know that Umbra means shadow, thanks to Crescent City.
Thank you, Crescent City.
Yeah.
I thought it had something to do with fire, but I guess that's Ember.
Yeah. In Crescent
I didn't
City,
investigate this.
Umbra Mortis, who is the Shadow Death.
Shadow Daddy.
And he's also Shadow Daddy.
So many shadows. All right. So they're running around from place to place. They're sharing their backstories. Genevieve finally talks about, I don't know if it's now or later, but let's just talk about it. She talks about her ex, Pharaoh Henry. And one of my 3 notes is that Rowan says, it's that bastard's fault. Pharaoh, what a ridiculous fucking name. Pots and kettles, Rowington, she joked half-heartedly. Which I loved. So what's the deal with Pharaoh?
He sucks. He sucks.
He's working the Jews so hard. He's making them build the pyramids. They're sending down the plagues. That's the deal with Pharaoh. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
We need to replague.
What were the plagues we came up with on Friday?
I don't remember what the plague.
We came up with really good plagues on Friday when we were leaving Kim's birthday.
And I forgot what they were.
We walked like half a block and we came up with 5 plagues.
I gotta try to remember what they were. Damn it, they were good too. So Pharaoh,
came out of my birthday party that you were.
I actually like don't know why, because like we left and it's like the end of the block. Rick goes right to go to Metro Tech and I go left to go to Hoyt.
Right.
And for some reason we were talking about modern day plagues.
Yeah. So Pharaoh was like one of her first boyfriend, and he kind of like used her basically, like literally just for sex for the most part. They like met in June or something like that. They hooked up for a bit, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, you're like a poor. I don't care about you. I gotta go."
Yeah, he got sent to fancy boarding school because he's like a fancy guy. And she like was heartbroken. And then when he came back a few years later, he was like, "You didn't wait for me?" And she was like, "What?" And then they like started hooking up again. And then it turned out that he was like betrothed to somebody, right?
Yeah, or wanting to. Yeah, or had been. They hadn't been betrothed yet. They had like
They're
been spoke about.
pre-engaged. They're
Right.
getting
Yes. Right.
pre-engaged.
Yeah, they're doing the
And he
whole.
was leaving to go to her. And she was like, "But I thought I was the one." And he was like, "Why would you ever think that? Because you're poor and your family's necromancers, and there's no way that you would ever be welcome in my society."
And then he tried to kill her.
Yeah.
He tried to kill her. Even before he tried to kill her, like he had went away the first time, and she like was like, "Okay, I have friends, I'll be okay." And then he came back and he like stole her friends, or like really like got in the middle of that. And she, to like get back at him, she like slept with someone. Like she was like, "Oh, come meet me here on this boat." And she was like,
It
"What?
was a float.
Float?
Just
A float?
Mardi Gras.
Okay."
Right.
And she was like hooking up with someone while he came in, and then he got like so pissed or whatever and like set it on fire.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
not normal.
all these nightmares she's having about him like calling her a devil and setting her on fire are legitimate. Like they're
Yeah.
like PTSD flashbacks. And it sounds like, she's paranormal and so she recovered quite well, but it sounds like the guy that she was with got pretty jacked up.
Yeah.
Which is really sad because that was her good friend.
I wonder if something like that, if either of those two characters are going to show up.
I know, because I keep saying that I think the third book's going to be about what's her name.
Good old what's her name?
You know what I'm talking about?
Umbra.
She's her bestie. Give me an Umbra series, like Perry the Platypus. Like she puts on a hat and she just like fights somebody. I love Umbra. Umbra is Socket.
Yeah.
She's a little black fox. She's like in Phantasma with Ophelia, but she's Genevieve's bestie, and she's paranormal, but we don't know how.
And she leaves early.
Yeah.
Because she falls in love and then she gets cursed.
Yeah.
Oh, right. She falls in love with the dude that doesn't love her back.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know her name.
What's her name?
I think the third book's about her, but it doesn't really matter. It could be about any of these people. I hope it's about some of Genevieve's friends, because otherwise we're getting character soup for no reason.
Yeah.
All right. So they're getting to know each other. They're playing this game. The hunt is continuing. They're trying to survive. They end up, I'm like breezing through the chapters because I don't know what's going on. So they end up in a dumbwaiter, which should exist more in modern times, I think.
A dumbwaiter?
Yeah. Rick, do you have one in your house? You have a lot of rooms.
I don't, but maybe I should install one. They don't seem that difficult to install.
Yeah, like you could have one that would bring you Dr. Pepper Zero.
That's right.
From your kitchen to your attic.
I think that's a great idea, actually.
Tristan, do you know how to build a dumbwaiter?
Or you could put like Luna and Coco in it and just like move them up and down from the attic down to the first floor.
He says he doesn't think they're allowed anymore.
Oh.
It's a fire code violation. Well, that's really messed up.
Not in New Jersey.
Everything is legal in New Jersey.
Right.
All right. So Grave finds them in the library. He kills
Yes.
Wellington in front of them. And then Rowan, trying to defend Genevieve, is incapacitated by Grave, and Genevieve is left to face his wrath. She holds him off until her magic returns, and then she disappears with Rowan into another room. That's the end of chapter 22.
Got it. Yeah. Who was it? Yeah, Wells like came into the room and was like, run, and like pushed everybody into the dumbwaiter. And I think stood to fight uh Grave and then died.
Yeah, and like as a reminder, because they're wraiths, they don't die when they die. They
Right.
like painful, like their like soul gets wrenched from their body or something, and they get dragged to hell, and they have to stay there for a year. Like it sucks, but this is like an eternal process.
Right.
And there's also like all of these chapters. There's just a lot of really intense maiming that's happening.
A lot of maiming.
And not actually dying in any way, shape, or form. And we see that in this chapter too, in that like Rowan is incapacitated, but he's a wraith, he's paranormal, so he recovers really quickly. And then Genevieve gets like also maimed by Graves, and then is healed by Ellen.
Yeah.
Which is how she doesn't end up dying.
Yeah, all the wraiths have special powers, and Ellen is healing. She's a
healing wraith.
Yeah. And Rowan is a shadow wraith.
Shadow Daddy.
Shadow Daddy. All right. So Genevieve recovers and meets everybody to learn about what happened. She overhears a conversation between Rowan and his brothers that reveals their animosity toward him and a family secret. I don't remember that.
I think they were just talking around something, but we didn't. I think Genevieve pops in, like walks by while they're talking about something.
Okay.
But we don't actually know what they're talking about.
All right. Well, she returns to her room and she's harassed by Nox, who's the devil that's running.
Noximo.
Noximo. That's not his name. That's just what Rick has decided his name is. And Nox warns her that she needs to make the hunt more entertaining for his patrons or face the consequences. So there's like mirrors everywhere. These patrons are like these demons and devils are watching them. And he's like, you gotta spice it up. Yeah.
Literally, he's like, you got to put on a show. I need them to subscribe to this channel.
Right. And I don't care about getting demonetized.
Right.
So that's chapter 23. And then 24, she has a nightmare about Pharaoh where he brutally rips her heart out. She's woken by her magic and finds herself with a deep wound that Rowan has to bribe Ellen to heal. When she's able to move, she walks into the dining room and she and Rowan have a tense conversation where he expresses his admiration for her. And she tells him she's determined to make a name for herself in the hunt.
And this is where I think we learned that Rowan... Yes, so Ellen healed her because she was like dying, but Rowan gave her something like I know.
No, that's the next one. That's the next round of the hunt after the piranhas.
Okay.
She's
doesn't he promise her something though?
In the second,
I know.
I think the way I remember it, the first one, she does the first one out of the goodness of her own heart, where she's like,
yeah, and she's like, I'm not doing this again.
And then after that, she's like, I'm not going to do it again. And he's like, well, what if I give you this token? And she's like, okay, fine.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So in chapter 25, Rowan's changing. Genevieve discovers a hidden compartment in his desk containing letters from him to his family, revealing his efforts to find a cure for his mother's illness and his guilt over their strained relationship. She also finds letters that she sent to Barrington, who's Rowan's dad, in her mother's names, and they're transported to a new location. What? Okay, anyway, she finds these letters, and so maybe it was Rowan who was writing her, not his dad, and they were just both pretending to be their parents.
Basically.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. And then I think like she like got mad at him for pretending to be the dad or whatever, and he's like, but you did the same thing or something along those lines. I think that happened.
Is this where the soup is?
No, not yet. Not like a ham.
But I feel like they have sex after the piranhas, but isn't there soup before that soup?
Hey kids
What
at home,
chapter is this?
sorry for our our notes
Chapter
and our
29,
memory
chapter
right now.
30, chapter 33.
What chapter is this?
We're on chapter 20.
25, 26.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay, pulling up the
Okay.
book.
I'm looking. I don't.
All right. No soup. Sorry. Oh, the soup is after the piranhas.
Yeah.
Both soups are after the piranhas. I remember now. Okay. All right. So now they're in the second round of the hunt, and Remy is the hunter. And Genevieve's running, and she hides in a secret passage, and then they end up in one of the enchanted rooms. So there are a bunch of rooms that are empty when they're not the hunt, and during the hunt they're enchanted. And while they're there, while you're in this enchanted room, you can solve a hidden riddle, and then you get a token that grants immunity for the next round of the hunt. So she and Rowan are having this lovely time in this beautiful meadow, and they're like walking across a bridge, and there's some fish. There's some glowing fish, and they have to solve this little puzzle where they figure out how to get the fish, and then they find the token. I'm breezing through 26, 27, and 28. This is where he tells her. This is where she tells him about Pharaoh.
Yeah.
But they've solved the fish puzzle, and Rowan tells Umbra to get in the water and get the token. And as soon as Umbra gets in the water, sorry, I'm going to back up. Before that, Genevieve is making beautiful flower necklaces and flower crowns for everybody. And she makes one for Umbra. Just want everybody to know she makes a little flower crown for Umbra. And this is when I texted them, Umbra is my favorite character. And then 2 pages later, Umbra jumps in the water, the fish turn into piranhas, and they start killing Umbra, just ripping her apart. I'm screaming. And Genevieve jumps in to save Umbra.
Yep.
And gets
maimed.
Really seriously injured. So they get the token. Umbra is saved. Genevieve is saved. She's nearly bleeding out. And then this is where he uses the token as a bargaining chip. And Ellen heals Genevieve. So Ellen gets the pass to the next round. And Genevieve survives. And at this point, Umbra becomes like attached to Genevieve's hip and is like sleeping on her when she's healing, and like is super loyal to her as well as to Rowan. And I love her.
And gives her big puppy dog eyes, or little fox puppy eyes, which we love.
She's a little black fox who follows her around everywhere.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Tristan.
But I did love the friendship bracelet moment with the crowns and
she has a little black fox who follows her around everywhere. He just goes to pet Socket's head.
And you said what the token was for, right? The grants immunity
for the next round. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So Genevieve is coming to. She's alive. Rowan is there. She initiates a passionate encounter with Rowan and setting a clear boundary that it's just sex, which is what they've been saying this whole time.
We've never heard this before in any other book either.
This is what the note says. She lets him pleasure her, leading to a profound shared experience. This is our first real good soup scene. We get a little bit of soup in the beginning, but this is our first real good soup scene. The shadows are involved to a level that I was not prepared for. And I was wondering, is Zayden reading this and taking notes?
Maybe. I didn't know shadows could do that.
The shadows are a full-on appendage.
Right?
Yep.
They're
Phantasma was ghost soup. This is shadow soup.
And it's like, yeah, I guess anyone could be that good in bed if they have 3 or 4 extra hands.
Right. I feel like he's cheating.
I mean, he's not a human.
I was about to say, she can never go back to mortal soup after this.
No more. Shadow soup forever and ever.
That's it. Only shadow soup.
But then they're like, Tristan's laughing. But then they're like, we can't ever do this again.
Because we're just fucking right. Is what
we don't say that. She says that.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, I mean, if
Right.
that's what you want. And they decide they're like only gonna have soup if it's for show. So if it's like for Knox's spectators.
Right.
So in chapter 29, she realizes she's becoming emotionally attached to him and she wants to focus on winning the game. And she's like, oh, BT dubs, tomorrow's my birthday.
Right.
It's my first time celebrating my birthday without my sister and my mom. And so Rowan's like, oh, you have to, we're going to have a birthday dinner. And we're going to have this grand public display of affection to help you win favored.
And he was a little upset at her. He's like, why did you tell me it was your birthday?
She's like, I'm trying to survive, dude.
Other thing that we haven't talked about yet, but does come through in these chapters, is that Genevieve has a diary. That she was always been like prolific at writing in diaries throughout her childhood, and that's the main reason why Ophelia had known that she had gone to Phantasma, because she had gone and found her diaries and like read about what she had been researching and finding about her mom and her parents. But yeah, so that's also like an interesting sort of writing choice here, is that we're also getting some of Genevieve's internal thoughts through her diary entries that she's writing. And we also can see how she like flip-flops on how she feels about like both Rowan but other siblings too, where she'll be like, oh, he's the best, and then like a day later she's like, scratch what I wrote last, like I now hate him, and then be like, scratch off that, I now like him again. So it's cute.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so chapter 30, Rowan and Genevieve put on a passionate show in the foyer for Knox's spectators, and they get interrupted in true Kaylie style. Everybody walks in.
Right, by his family. Like,
right.
And then Genevieve,
I'm not really here for.
Yeah, Genevieve, and at the birthday dinner, apparently there's like a ritual for all of their birthdays where their dad Barrington shows up and they all get to stab him.
Right. Yeah. And they have to give up a secret.
Yeah, they tell a secret about somebody else and then they stab their dad. It's insane.
It's so crazy.
And I think
like, I'm reading too many books.
And this is where Genevieve gets pissed at Rowan, because like one of the secrets someone says is like, one of the brothers was like, I'll pay you to sleep with. If you sleep with Genevieve, I'll give you money.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And he's like, I never accepted the bet.
Right.
But Rowan also reveals that he killed Cedric, who's the guy who was getting a little handsy with Genevieve earlier. So he killed Cedric to protect Genevieve. So I guess he is a little like, don't touch her. But that guy, I don't know. That was different.
That guy was a jerk. Yeah, he deserved that. He was fine.
He has tarnished the Cedric name.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, and then the clock strikes midnight, and it's time for round 3 of the hunt.
We're going.
So in chapter 32, the hunting blade chooses Sevington as the hunter. His game is solitary confinement, which forces everyone to find a single room and stay there for the whole round. Rowan and Genevieve hide in a powder room where he reveals that he was the one who wrote the letters to her mother and sent the enchanted crows, hoping to find a necromancer to help cure his mother. Genevieve is hurt, but eventually forgives him, and they move to another room as the hunt continues.
Yeah, we got backstory about the mom, about, he's really just trying to look out. He's trying to cure his mom. That's all he's been trying to do. So,
right.
Some good backstory in this chapter.
Yeah. So then they go into an enchanted room and they're hiding in a mirrored forest. They have an intimate conversation playing a game called Fox Says.
Oh, they sure do.
Which is soupy.
Soupy.
So they're okay, so back at the masquerade, he had a fox mask and she had a rabbit mask. And so and obviously his familiar is Umbra, who's a fox. So he's like associated with the fox. And so they're playing this soupy game called Fox Says, which is like Simon Says. But Simon Says does not sound sexy.
No.
It doesn't.
Fox Says sounds sexy.
It does. And this next sentence in our AA notes says this helps them build trust. Pause. This is full on erotica, this part right here. Like, this is, you want to talk about building trust? Oh my God. At one point he says to her, like, Fox says you're not allowed to make any noises. I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
It
It
was,
was
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Kaylie is a great writer.
it's good soup. It's
I
good
do kind of wish it wasn't Fox's just because of Umbra. And so I'm like, I don't want to think about our other, like, our actual Fox girl here in that soupy way. So, like, kind of wish it had been another Predator.
Yeah, she's
rather.
not there. She's
Definitely.
snoozing somewhere. Okay, so this helps them to build trust. Whatever, they're soup. Good soup. Seven shows up to hunt them, and Rowan orders Genevieve to run to another room. She's hunted by Seven's familiar, who is a wolf, and escapes with Umbra and receives the immunity token. So she goes through.
Oh, right.
She's in the mirrors. She runs into the mirror forest.
Yeah.
She and
go ahead.
climbs a tree.
That's in the next chapter says. But yes, go ahead.
Fair, yeah. This all kind of comes together.
Yeah.
But she climbs a tree, and there's mirrors all around, and they're all sort of reflecting her and everything in different sort of ways. But she sees a mirror that isn't actually reflecting, and instead looks like there's somebody, aka her, like inside it. And so she feels drawn to that mirror as she's being chased, and ends up like jumping into it. But yeah, that's
yeah.
Catch all that detail.
Yeah. So she does that, and she beats up this monster version of herself. She gets a permanent scar on her face. And then she thinks she's only there for like a few minutes, but she's been gone for
hours.
Yeah. Rowan's been waiting for her, tells her that she's safe. She recovers from her injuries. She realizes that her feelings for Rowan are more complicated than she originally thought. This is where the bet is revealed that their intimacy was financially motivated and Genevieve was hurt. And then she flees to the hedge maze, and Rowan confesses his love for her.
Good guy, Rowan.
And then they have immunity, and they're like, well, we should get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
And then that's how this section of chapters ends before the next round of the hunt, where they are not going to be hunted because they have immunity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little confused about how many rounds of the hunt there are. Because I would assume there's 7, so that everybody gets a chance to hunt. But
there's
it doesn't seem is somebody dying every round?
There's supposed to be. Yeah, sorry, you can't see it. I was trying to show you on my phone, but I had pulled up the chapter list.
Has anybody other than Wells died?
Yes.
I think
somebody died.
Didn't someone kill 7?
7 comes in extremely bloody.
Yeah, because he killed Remy.
He killed Remy. Right. Yeah, he came into this scene.
There's that part where Remy is pretending to be Rowan.
Yeah.
And he like pierces his lip because Rowan's got a lot of piercings.
Yeah.
He does.
We get a lot of like tattooed male main characters in Romantasy, but I can't recall one where we've heard so many piercings before.
He's got one on his shadow. So
all the appendages are pierced.
He's got many, many piercings, and Remy has none. And so when Remy's trying to impersonate Rowan when he's hunting, he shoves a piercing through his lip, and Genevieve's like, no,
not like a ham,
not like a Rowan. Yeah, so that's that. We've got a lot more. All right, so 2 people are dead. Just Remy.
2 people are dead.
Remy and
Wellington. Beef Wellington.
Remy and Beef. Remy the rat from Ratatouille and Beef Wellington that he made in the kitchen are dead. But there's a lot. That means there's 5 of them, right? Because Rowan and Genevieve are together, but there's 5 of them that are still alive.
Yeah, I wonder if like it gets to the end and it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe like something like 2 people have to die or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
right. I don't know. The last round, like a cage death or something like.
Yeah. Right.
I think. Well, my next question is, what do you think is going to happen next? But I think that while they're enjoying their round of freedom, I think multiple people are going to die off screen.
Sure, while they're gone. Yeah. Good point. I will
Go
say we
ahead.
thought we'd split these chapters into thirds for podcast purposes. This was a whole 60% of the book. So
Yeah,
the first
it actually
quote was only 20%, and now we only have 20% left. So this was actually a lot of content.
we did a bad job.
All right.
I did a bad job.
We didn't know, but yeah.
The first third was actually 40%.
Was it?
Yeah, because I added those extra chapters.
Oh, okay. It wasn't
So it
40%
was,
for me.
I know. It was like, it was 40, and 20.
And 20.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not as bad then.
My bad.
These
I'm
just-
going to swing for the fences on this one. Let's just go a little crazy and be a little unsafe. I don't think they're going to win.
She's going to go to hell?
I don't know. I don't think they're going to win. Maybe the third book is Ophelia having to get her from hell or something.
I think, oh, interesting.
Oh.
Oh.
That's
Maybe
a way
that's-
to bring it together.
Right, and they have to meet the king of the devils, right, in hell or something, and that's where they learn the whole past of the locket. I'm literally just thinking this on the spot. Maybe she doesn't win.
I would love that. I just keep thinking the third book is going to be a third story, but what if it's both? What if it's both of them?
I was going to say that earlier, that I think the third book is going to be both of them.
I think that's great.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Rowan's going to win, but Genevieve's not going to win.
Right, so I'm thinking something like that.
Yeah.
I
'Cause he
also
always
wondered
wins.
if Ophelia was going to show up at the end of this.
Maybe.
If she and Blackwell were going to like bust in.
Well,
Like,
I
we
mean,
haven't heard from you in a long ass time.
Right.
it could be something like that where, like, again, making stuff up. Like, if she does get sent to hell, maybe like the last chapters is Ophelia and Blackwell showing up and going to Rowan and being like, "Where's my sister?" or something.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have that much left in the book. I have like an hour. I have less than 2 hours left.
I know
which is
we're
like-
all going to finish it like in the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to make any other predictions. I like that prediction the best.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want that also.
This is like our shortest podcast ever.
We did it.
What else are we reading?
I'm reading Crescent City, which is finally good. It took 45% of the book. And the first 45% wasn't bad. It was just a history lesson. But now the plot is really moving along. Things are happening. The main male character in that book's name is Hunt. So I hate that we're talking about the Hunt in this one. But I am liking it. Like I am reading it quicker now, which is good.
I'm also on Crescent City, and I have, as of a couple days ago, gotten back and have now passed the point of what I had read the first time around. Still incredibly, incredibly glad that I went back and reread, because as Rick is saying, like there's just so much detail in the first part, and there's so much characters. It's character soup for sure, but not the fun kind.
Not that soup.
Not that soup. And so like now being able to keep it straight in my head is really helpful. So yeah. What are you on, Amanda?
Okay, I just looked back at when we recorded our last pod. So I finished the Thursday Murder Club, the first one. Really liked it. Ending gets kind of sad, but it was good. I enjoyed it, and I finished it, I believe, on the day that the movie came out, which is fun.
nice.
But as we all know, I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch it. Then I read Thornhedge, which is a novella by Tay Kingfisher. It's like a retelling, like a twisted retelling of Sleeping Beauty. I read it for a Goodreads bookmark. I liked it. It was really short, and so it felt like weird to rate it because it was like I was rating a chapter and not a book. But I liked it. I liked her writing style. I would read more of her books. I know she writes a lot of romantasy, so I probably will. And then I read The Great Believers by Rebecca Mackay, which I also read for my last Goodreads reward. And I think it is the best book I've read in a really long time.
Wow, really?
I wouldn't say it wasn't my favorite. I didn't enjoy it more than any other book because it's really heavy. but I think it is a literary masterpiece.
Nice.
It's 2 timelines. The first one takes place in the 80s, and it's a guy named Yale, and he's a gay man in the 80s, and the book starts with his good friend dying of AIDS. And so it follows his life and his relationship. And then the other timeline is in 2015, and it's the original guy, the bestie at the beginning. His name is Nico. It's Nico's sister, Fiona. So she, as a straight woman, survives like the AIDS epidemic of the 80s. And so it's kind of about her life and how that era impacted her. I think there's really beautiful connections between the 2 time periods. I think there's really beautiful characters. I think that it does a great job of bringing in, they compare the gay men of the 80s to the men who returned home from World War I, and talk about kind of this lost generation. And then there's like some art stuff. And I don't know, I really loved it. It took me like 3 days to read the last 20% of the book because I hit a point where I was like, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
And so, they tell you like from the jump, they're like, everybody's going to die. And I was like, oh, that's so hard. But yeah, it's really, if you want to be sad, it's a masterpiece.
Thank you.
And I think also like shout out to Rebecca Mackay, who is a straight woman, who I think has done a really excellent job of writing a book that is not about her own community in a way that makes you want to seek out and read more stories from that community. I think she brought a lot of really good research on board and brought a lot of really good sensitivity readers on board. And I spent the 6 hours after I finished the book reading the whole internet and like looking at other people's stories, which I think is the best thing that somebody can do if they're telling a story that's not their own. Is make the reader want to do that. Hi, Bartholomew.
Hi. He's a little menace. Here he is.
Oh, there he is.
Tell our listeners what he did today.
So for those of you who are not watching us on YouTube and therefore cannot see us right now, my cat Bartholomew has come to join. And yes, he is a certified menace at this point in life. Kept me up all night meowing. And then earlier I was on a student appointment on Zoom, and he decided to vertical jump over 6 feet onto the top of the kitchen cabinets. I have very tall kitchen cabinets. He got himself up there and got too scared to get himself down. So decided he was going to yowl about it. And I had to get a ladder to climb up and actually get him down while I was in the middle of the student appointment. So he's thinking about doing it again. I'm looking at him. He's looking up at the cabinets right now. Like, don't do it.
Don't do it.
He's not going to do it.
Do not climb onto the counter and up to the cabinet.
Don't do it, Bartholomew.
He's a good boy.
He's a menace.
All right. Well, our homework is to finish Enchantra. If you have any ideas for what we should read next,
because we don't.
You can email us. You can comment. Maybe we'll make a reel and a TikTok asking folks what we should read next. We haven't talked
I love
about it
that. Actually, that's a really fun idea.
That's what we'll do.
All right.
All right.
Thank you all for listening.
Bye.
Bye.